Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of my RCT3 Megapark. Now, the park is steadily growing, and in the last episodes we focused on this area over here. And of course this wild mouse is our latest addition to the park. I kind of like that you can actually give these coasters inversions in this version of the game. So yeah, that's quite cool. Now of course we cannot just leave the ride like this with the grass under it. So it definitely needs some nice landscaping under it, and of course a nice station. I'm still really annoyed that the game just sometimes randomly flings the camera somewhere else when I click the right mouse button. I'll just have to get used to that. Yeah, that's a little bit weird. Anyway, landscaping, stations, what I need to do, of course a nice little queue. This area of the beach I think needs some foliage, some decorations, maybe some little hills. And what I want to do after that is basically connect this path over here back to the main path here. And I think it will be nice to have a little mountainous path here. And finally, something which I have already planned from the beginning is that I want to have a nice big volcano in the middle of the park with a coaster coming out of it. Probably be one of those Intamin accelerator coasters, like the Hershey Park Stormrunner model that you can place in this game. Of course, not with the original layout. Okay, yeah, I'll just get started on the landscape of this wild mouse over here. And yeah, let's see what we can come up with. Alright, I think that's our wild mouse pretty much done. Now, there were some sections here which were quite unsupported. I really don't like that, so yeah, I just made some custom supports under it. Now, what really annoys me is that whenever you place an object here under these supports, they just immediately disappear, even if it's just a plant that's on 1/4 of the tile. But yeah, that's just how it is. So I've just been placing these plants a little bit away from these existing supports. Now, the wild mouse doesn't have a name yet. If you can come up with a good name for the wild mouse, please let me know in the comments. And in the next video I will choose one of your suggestions for the name of the wild mouse. Okay, well, this area right here still looks a bit undecorated, so that's what I'm going to be focusing on now. I will just make the landscape here a bit nicer. I'll extend the beach a little bit, place a lot of plants around it, maybe put some rocks here, because I think that will look nice on the beach. And after that I think we can consider this area done. Now, I don't want to extend the beach path all the way over here. I think I'll just only continue the path back over here and maybe into this section of the park. And maybe this area over here can be used for a coaster or some other ride. We'll figure that out in the following episodes. Alright, time to work on the beach here. A wireless mouse is great until the battery runs out. Just a moment, gotta plug it back in. Alright, and we're back in action. Alright, that's this little beach area here done. Now it's very simple, maybe a little bit too simple, but I will keep it like this for now, so we can focus on the next area. And the next area, as I mentioned earlier, will be this path that I want to make. So I'll just make the path here, kind of follow this mountain. I'll try to make the nice landscape here. And after that I can start on making the big volcano here in the middle. See if I can manage to do that in a nice way. Alright, as you can see here, I've made a very blocky mountain. Doing it like this kind of helps me get the shape right before I do any smoothing or before I place any stuff on it. Yeah, I think this will be actually be a nice shape for the volcano. We'll be able to fit the station of the ride somewhere in here, and have a little launch section, and then pop out here at the top, and then probably pop out of the mountain several times. Yeah, I think it will be a really fun ride to build, depending on how well these landscaping tools work for me. But yeah, the first thing to do now is to make a path that runs over the side of the mountain here. And yeah, with these if these tools work well, I think we should be able to do it in a nice fashion. All right, let's get cracking. Alright, what I like is that so far the game is not very laggy at all. So I think Frontier did a good job yeah, rewriting a game for 64-bit versions. So yeah, that's awesome. Now I made this little path here now on the side of the mountain. Well, yes, right now it's probably not very fun for the guests to walk on, since there's nothing really here next to this path. And no guests actually seem to be taking this path so far. Granted, the guests in this game are very slow, so it might take a while for them to realize that they can actually use this path. Now, I also saw I forgot to open the steel wild mouse, so that's what I just did. And that should also hopefully lure some more people to this area. I see some, I already see a group of people waiting here. Probably waiting for the group to be complete. There they are. And they might continue on to this coaster, hopefully. we'll have to see what they're gonna do. Well, yeah, that's maybe that might become an issue when we finally fill stuff here in the back of the park. Actually, getting people to go to that area. They all seem to be congregating in this area over here. I don't blame them, because most of the rides are still over here in this area. But yeah, there'll be something to find out. Yeah, I kind of like this path. It gives the guests a nice view of the river rapids, and of course of the booster bikes attraction, and of course also for this this big hyper coaster over here. Okay, there's one last thing I want to do in this episode. Yeah, mind you, I will leave the volcano like this for now, and I'll smoothen it out later when I actually add the coaster in this volcano. It might really change up the landscape, and it's probably easier to work on it while it's still in this state, rather than when it's already smoothed out. Alright, it's time to add another patron to the park. So let's I'll actually do it over here at the Wild Mouse, since it's one of the areas we worked on in this episode. So let's go to our staff. Oh, this is not staff. I do want to quickly check this out. Does this make it bigger? No, it doesn't. Sad. Yeah, I think this is nice. It's a nice overview of the park. Still quite a lot to go, but I'd say we're around 1/3 of the way done. Well, probably over 1/3, more like halfway done. Since the volcano will fill up a large area of the park here in the middle. Alright, let's go to our staff if I can find it. Alright, and we're gonna hire a new entertainer. And this will be a patron who joined recently. His name is Captain Simpa. So yeah, thanks a lot for your for being a patron. I really appreciate it. It really helps keep me motivated to run my YouTube channel. Of course, all the support that I get in the comments also really helps. So yeah, I want to thank you all for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have a nice name for the steel wild mouse, let me know in the comments. Thinking something tropical, something mouse related. Yeah, just let me know if you can come up with any good names. Alright, hope you enjoyed this episode and I'll see you again in the next one. See you later.